Sup? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me have some more RPG horror stories. I'm still figuring out my full Halloween plans. I already got the costume at the ready, and I know exactly what I'll do. But what to do specifically on Halloween, I don't really know. We've never streamed a VR game on here. We haven't streamed many games, honestly, but we have never streamed a VR game. There's a spooky game that came out with a brand new update. I think it's called The Devouring. I would like to see if you can get Micah and Mary to join me to play it together, because it's way better multiplayer than it is by yourself. But if not, I'll figure out some other plans. Anyway, let's get to the first story for today. DM overuses DMPCs to block player-to-player interaction and railroad the campaign. Context isn't super necessary, but I'll still include it for more entertaining read. Still in this campaign, so I'm keeping it vague, but this is more of a rant than anything else. I'm a first-time D&D player. I joined a campaign a few months back playing 5e. Though already mid-campaign, still relatively new campaign about 10 or so sessions in, but the DM decided to let me in anyway because we're friends. We meet up and I tell him all about the character I want to play, and he's totally on board with it. I join, my character is introduced mid-combat, and everything goes pretty well so far, while fighting a pretty standard evil cult trying to destroy the world. Combat isn't very frequent, only around 3 or 4 sessions, so the next month or so consists mainly of traveling, research, training, and socializing as we prepare to fight with the big boss. We travel to the city near where we need to go and shack up in a house that one of the DMPCs owned. Combat really depends on the game you're playing. Like, I think there should be a nice balance between roleplay, adventure, investigating, looting and stuff, and then combat. Maybe not every single session, obviously, but I feel like in most sessions there should be at least some kind of like a satisfactory combat scenario, or some sort of a scenario where you're supposed to like take initiative for a turn and stuff. Maybe for a puzzle or for like a trap or something. I don't know. Some way for players to interact and use the skills that they have, use the spells they have. If 3 or 4 sessions are spent straight up strictly traveling, I feel like you need to consider setting up fast travel rules. Fast travel rules are a fantastic thing, and that's something I really just very liberally use because we have a pretty big map in general for our world, and I want to make sure the players can get to the destination and get to do the fun stuff, or if the travel has to stop midway, they actually stop and wait for a reason, for some sort of an intention of like they could be attacked by bandits, or they get to solve problems on the road and stuff like that. Traveling for 3 to 4 sessions, that doesn't sound exciting to me, but hey, maybe the DM makes it better with the roleplay and stuff, who knows. Now it's time to introduce the DMPCs, which are frustratingly consistent in their presence. There are 4 DMPCs that are almost always with the party: a wizard, a rogue, a fighter, and a druid. They're essentially their own adventuring party within the campaign, which is a cool concept in theory, if they're actually independent from the players, which they are not. Each and every one of the DMPCs is disgustingly overpowered. We're currently level 4 in the campaign, and every single one of the DMPCs has expertise on various skills, alongside signature attacks that all do absurd amount of damage. For example, the Druid DMPC has a resourceless 6d6 range attack that has +6 to hit. Like, what the hell? Overpowered DMPCs are already a horror story for the reasons you're familiar with. Part of what makes D&D interesting is failure. When there's always an overpowered DMPC next to you to make sure you don't fail, then player agency loses all purpose. Oh, the rogue failed to pick the lock on the door? It's okay, here comes the rogue DMPC to pick it. Paladin failed a strength check? No worries, the fighter DMPC has a +5 to strength, he'll handle it. Artificer fails an arcana check? The wizard DMPC just tells us what it is. No roll required. She's just so smart. Actually vile. Not vile on the point where it's disgusting, but I mean, yeah, I understand why you use the word disgusting, because oh boy howdy dowdy. That takes away all agency from your players. The one thing you want to do as a DM is not make their player characters feel useless. You know what this is? You have your party, and the party your DM tells you not to worry about. That's what it is. It's literally just, it's you guys, but better. And they succeed in every way where you guys fail. It sucks. This is the worst way to make a player feel like they're involved in anything. What's the point of your rogue lockpicking locks and sneaking around? Just make the DMPC rogue do everything. A paladin, why should they lift anything? Make the fighter do they have a +5 to strength and probably advantage in athletics. I don't know. Probably. Find a magical item? Why even make Artificer roll for it? If the wizard could just tell you what it is, they don't need to roll Arcana, they just immediately succeed. What's the point of having a PC party in the first place then? The way that I would run this is making DMPCs subpar, as they should be, because your main cast are your PCs. And yes, they're gonna fail, they're gonna succeed. And the fun of it, fail succeeding, is there. But the NPCs shouldn't be taking away the spotlight from how good they can be. They can get lucky, sure, because the NPCs can also roll natural 20s and stuff. And I had the NPCs, or, well, not the NPCs, but NPCs in general, supporting cast, roll like 20s and stuff and succeed. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure the players are doing good and they get to roll stuff and they get to make the decisions. The NPC that's following along, like maybe like a NPC cleric Obsolete, she's just there to make sure that she can get to the ritual site to do her ritual business and get the plot on the way. She's not there to rescue the party. Yeah, she'll probably do a roll or two the players want her to, but she's not going to be actively taking the spotlight and doing all the rolls and taking away the spotlight. It's up to the players to do it. Anyway, I could be rambling about this all day, but let's get on with the story. The worst part isn't just the usual overpowered DMPC stuff though, is that the DM is actively hogging the spotlight with them by not allowing players to interact with one another. Remember the part where I said combat is rare, so we spend most sessions socializing and traveling? Yeah, with DMPCs. We'll often be forced to listen to the DM talk to himself in various voices as he tries to make his DMPCs more likable by making them quirky goofballs. Meanwhile, the party is unable to speak to one another because the DM is constantly talking to himself until he changes the scene. If a player does try to talk to another player, it almost always gets interrupted. I was talking with our monk about something that happened significantly in the story, trying to be emotional support, and right when it was actually getting to be a pretty intense conversation, the wizard DMPC walked up and interrupted the conversation. The DM basically forced us to stop having an integral character moment so you could force more DMPC scene time on us before we entered the next scene. We can't roleplay unless it's with a DMPC. We can fight without watching a DMPC one-shot a bad guy before making Marvel-ass quippy one-liners. We can't eat, sleep, or crap without a DMPC force themselves into the scene. This sounds like hell. It sounds like hell. It sounds like Marvel hell. We just discovered 10th circle of hell. The hell where all the DMPCs are literally interjecting in every single scene. I can't even imagine the goal of this DM to just sit there at the table while people are trying to roleplay and be like, hey Billy, I slew a goblin yesterday. Oh Bobby, oh what kind of goblin did you slay? It was a stinky goblin. It just making the roleplay with himself basically at the table. That'd be insanity. I can't believe, dude, I think your DM just wants to really just write a book or a screenplay. I don't think your DM wants to, if your DM doesn't want to listen to you talk in player character, interact with your player characters at least, it'd be one thing if like they had a lot of DMPCs, but they gave everybody, all the players, the ample time to have their agency and like matter and have the conversations be matter and focus on their personal moments and story moments. But no, DM can't even have that. The party is just a group of side characters in this Marvel-esque adventures for the DMPCs. The part about finishing off a bad guy and giving some Morrow-esque quip. Jesus, just end me now, smite me, somebody just smite me. Is this what tabletop is like? I just want to bond and roleplay with other players, but I can't without some freaking DMPC interrupting my conversation. And even if I try to converse with a DMPC, they all have surface level anime dialogue that makes me feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. Why are the PCs even important when the DMPC can't do everything we can, but better? Hell, the fighter DMPC is literally immortal. No exaggeration. He just cannot die. Why the hell are we level 4 adventurers trying to take down the evil cult when we could literally send this one guy through the whole base to do it for us? Sorry this turned into a rant, more than a horror story, but hell, I'm so sick of this DMPCs following us around and holding our hands so we can't fail at anything. You're still in this campaign, right? That's what you said in the beginning. I recommend you leave. This is not a campaign. This is not a campaign. This is an actual torture device your DM is using. You are not a player. You are a captured hostage, there to watch the DM and the great DMPCs do all the cool things. The fighter is literally immortal. You had me at that. You had me at fighter is literally immortal to know for sure what kind of game it is. This isn't TTRPGs, this isn't D&D, this isn't anything that you ever played before. You are a captive audience. there to literally watch the DMPCs do all the great stuff as DM narrates the cool characters that they imagine was so cool and epic and badass. You're there on the sidelines to be like, wow, cool, to just witness things happening. Your character will never actually get to do anything cool in his campaign because the DM is focused too much on making their DMPCs so cool and epic and immortal. Immortal. I needed to laugh, dude. God, I know it's terrible. It's tragic what's going on. It's honestly awful. But it's kind of funny. Immortal. Listen, I recommend you just leave. This game is not worth it. You'd be better off finding a different group where you can actually be a player character and have player agency and not dealing with, oh, this is the party you DM don't want you to worry about running around with you and just talking over you guys. This isn't a game. This is a torture device. Leave immediately. Let's get to the next story for today. The most insightful guard and least insightful DM. Hey Reddit, this story is about half a year old, but I feel like I needed to purge the poison. The star of this tale is the DM. Let's call her Harlequin, or Harley for short. If someone asked me to describe Harley's personality in one word, it would be insufferable. She's a know-it-all and contrarian, a holier-than-thou, and worst of all, a mic eater. Seriously, I couldn't understand half of what she said throughout the campaign, though that was probably for the best since the story didn't make sense anyway. You might ask, if Harley was so bad, why'd you stay? Well, I was about to leave when she swore that extra 1d4 damage I was dealing because of my starting feat was breaking the game, even though we almost got TPK'd every fight, or when she almost killed a character from fall damage because they failed a single dex save, or when she cast Disintegrate on the same player at level 2, nearly killing them instantly, only to retcon when everyone complained and saying she didn't know level 6 spells would kill a level 2 character. Or when I asked for better armor, she gave my character a gimp suit instead. Side note, I think Harley has a weird fetish for gay men because she kept asking about my dating life and assumed I was flirting with every NPC. Disintegrate on a poor level 2. What are these stories? What is today? What is today? What's up with these stories, dude? Disintegrate on a poor level 2 character. Oh, look at you, just leveled up. Bad. Disintegrate. Yo, I didn't know it would destroy them. I probably should have checked the book, the handy dandy book that talked about Disintegrate being a really powerful spell and literally disintegrates people. But no, I thought it would be fine. Jesus Christ, what is going on here? On a more serious note, this Harley person sounds, like you said, insufferable. I mean, from throwing people to their deaths just for the sake of it, to also trying to force you into a gimp suit because of the fetish. Don't bring your fetish to D&D games unless it's officially stated from the very beginning and everybody knows ahead of time that this is a fetish game. That's what you're going to be playing. Do not ever, as a DM or a player, bring your fetishes to your TTRPG table. After each incident, she would slither into my DMs asking for a second chance or forgiveness. Whenever I pushed back, she turned the whole game world against me. Felt like I either had to indulge her or endure a miserable 4 hours of play. And even when I indulged her, my character would fail one save and be out for 6 real-life hours, during which I just listened to a podcast with terrible audio. But after every incident, she would apologize and promise to be better. There's only so much apologizing you could do before your apologies just don't mean nothing. Like, apologize for a few mistakes here and there, that's fine. And I see nothing wrong with people apologizing. But there is such a thing as when people say I love you, they love bomb you with affection. Basically that, but like apologize bombing. At some point the word I'm sorry just doesn't begin to have a meaning, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and over again, no matter how many times you say I'm sorry, I'm just gonna stop believing you because you sound like a liar. And this Harley person sounds like a liar. They constantly make a mistake, but instead of fixing the mistake, they just apologize and hope that you'll forgive them so they can keep doing the mistake, so you can be mad again and they'll apologize, so it just resets. It's like a loop cycle, basically. At some point, the cycle gotta break, man. The cycle just has to end. Well, after that prologue, let's get into the story. In her infinite wisdom, Harley decided to introduce the deck of many things into the game. Uh-oh. She mentioned that she just removed the ward's cards, and I thought pulling a card might bring some excitement to this lethargic game. And to my luck, I drew the Void. I was in disbelief and said, that can't be right. Harley interpreted that as me challenging her, and she threw a fit, telling me my character was done and to leave the session. After some discussion, she let me create a new character, which I unfortunately did. I don't know too many cards from the deck of many things. I just know one just insta kills it and the other one gives like 3 levels or something like that. I don't know. Let's go look up the Void. Alright, the Void. This black card spells disaster. Your soul is drawn from your body and contained in an object in a place of the DM's choice. One or more powerful beings guard the place. While your soul is trapped in this way, your body is incapacitated. A witch spell can't restore your soul, but the spell reveals the location of the object that holds it. You draw no more cards. Damn. So like if you get that, you basically are in purgatory, forever never to play. That sucks, dude. I thought Harley took away all the bad cards. I guess she missed one of those. I had to skip the next session partly due to mental health reasons. I was pretty sure I'd have a breakdown if I played, but when I joined the following session, about 10 minutes late, I found that a shady organization had kidnapped my friends. I barely met these people, but I don't want to derail, so I chose to trace them, which led us to a bar. My new character was a rogue skill monkey with the actor feat and great infiltration skills. Rolled nat 20 while talking to the guards, so they let me in. Once inside, I tried to find my friends, but the DM demanded another deception check. I used all my abilities to boost it to the max, getting something like a 31, memories of a past life, guidance, psionic knack, and a +9 to deception with advantage. And it was a fail. I asked the DM if it was a roll, because I couldn't force a reroll, but no. Apparently the guard had a passive insight of 31+. How do you get a passive insight of 31+? You need like a really insanely high 30 wisdom with proficiencies and stuff. I don't know. What? Very balanced game, right? It was the only thing my character was good at. He had no combat skills and a low dex to max out charisma, yet I couldn't beat the passive insight of a random guard. I gave up for the rest of the session, and when I asked Harley about it afterwards, she kicked me out for being a bummer. And that's not even all of it. Harley would give out magical items only to nerf them to the ground, make impossible challenges, then get pissy about us succeeding using our wits. Generally speaking, she was just a mean person. Honestly, I think she enjoyed seeing me fail. And when I finally stood up to her, she called me a bad fit for her game and kicked me out. Edit. A lot of people are saying that I should have left earlier, and I agree, that is totally on me. I was too forgiving and a bit blind to my own plight, but we grow and learn. You were a bad fit for our game because you decided to stand up for yourself and say, "What the hell, Harley, why are you pulling this?" And suddenly, when you finally make it an observation about how bad Harley runs the game, you suddenly deemed as a bad fit because you're not submissive enough to just deal with Harley's bullshit. Harley's a horrible, horrible DM. I mean, it's ridiculous what they're trying to pull you through, especially with your last character, like 31 passive insight. What the hell is going on? What the hell is even that? You honestly should have left before, but thank you so much for sharing this story and telling us more about another crazy DM to avoid. Why a bunch of DMs are using D&D and TTRPG as torture devices? They just want to see other people suffer and have a horrible time. I bet you other players in the party also weren't having a great time either, because everybody had to deal with these insane challenges. And being kidnapped and all that stuff, and rolling death saving throws and being disintegrated at level 2. Disintegration at level 2 will be the funniest damn thing I've ever heard. It's just stupid. It's ridiculous. Hey, level 2, disintegrate. God, it's so dumb. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.